Hi, Flosstube.
Hi, Flosstube.
I'm Cathy.
And I'm Nancy.
And we are the So-and-Sos. And this is video number 11, take 2.
3.
We've had a hard time with this video. So we're trying to get it right this time. If you notice, we took our last one down because the sound was horrible. It just faded in and out and in and out, and I couldn't fix it. So we decided to take it down and start over. So here we are.
Yes. So if you are one of the lucky ones that saw, the lucky 400 people
400.
that saw the first video, a lot of this is going to be the same with a few things added for what we've done this week.
Yeah.
This past week.
But the sound will be better is what we're hoping.
What is it with our...
We don't know.
We can do the videos. We're just idiots when it comes to sound.
And we have our big microphone on, and we've installed it and checked all the settings 14 times.
So hopefully
this is the one.
This is the one. Well, 3, they always say 3.
3, the third time's the charm. So this is it. We are set.
Okay. So what have you been doing in the last month plus 1 week?
Well, let's see. What have we been doing? We went to dinner last night with my cousins for my cousin's birthday, and that was fun. She fixed dinner, and it was her husband, so she fixed dinner. We had roast beef and all the good stuff, and that was fun. We have just had snow every night. It seems like it snows every night.
Oh, yeah. And now we're having rain.
Today it's raining.
It's supposed to be rain for the next 3 days.
Yeah, if the temperature would just raise, we could get rid of all the snow. But it's keeps staying cold, and we just keep having snow. So hopefully this will be the end of the snow, and we'll get into rain. And then it'll probably flood.
Yeah. And when the time change was this weekend.
Time change.
And I loved how it was light
You
at
did?
night. Yes.
I do not like the change.
I don't like the change itself, but that puts me like,
In a better
I'm ready
mood.
for spring.
Yeah.
When it starts staying
Lighter,
light
longer.
at night.
Yeah, that is true.
Longer.
That is true. What have you been up to?
But so we had a huge windstorm.
Yes, we did.
Come through last Friday. And we had a snow squall.
Yep.
Did you have the snow squall?
Ours was rain. It rained an inch. It
wow.
dumped it. And so when you were getting all that snow, it dumped rain at our house because we're down in the canyon, and so everybody up on top got snow and we got rain. But it was bad.
And with the snow squall, people who probably live in areas, but it's like a total whiteout.
Yeah, it was just awful.
It's crazy. And the wind. So my husband's a truck driver, and his friend text him, and he says, "I'm done for the day." And he was about an hour from home, and his truck about blew over.
Yeah, several trucks did blow over.
And so he pulled into a truck stop parking lot, and he called the office, and he says, "I'm done. Until this wind slows down, I am not driving."
I don't blame him.
It really scared him.
Yeah, it was bad. It was horrible for a while. My mom, we have a weather station, and she was watching it. It was 46 degrees and a 46-mile-an-hour wind.
Yeah.
That was the top speed that she saw down in the canyon. So I don't know what it was up on top.
We had 75 plus.
You had 75 plus.
Gusts. So
we had 2 trees that I know of go down, not on our land, but on the homeowner land. They're trying to chop them up and get rid of them today. Luckily, they didn't hit anything. So
it was pretty.
It was
windy. Pretty crazy. So basketball ended for my grandson, and they went undefeated.
Yay!
So they were pretty excited about that. It's just a city league they have different age groups, but the age group he was in is 11 to 14, and he's actually turned 14 while he was playing basketball. But it was fun watching him because he had never played basketball before, and he would be out there on the court, and he was just smiling the whole time.
He had a good time.
He absolutely loved it. And from the first game to the last game, his confidence built, and he was making baskets at the end. And anyway, it was a lot of fun.
So next year he'll move up
if he
to
plays
a different level, or will it be through school?
No. If he plays next year with the city, he'll still be in the same.
Oh, 14
Yeah,
until he
because
turns 15.
he won't be 15 until in
Okay.
the middle of the season.
Okay, I got it.
So anyway,
Yeah.
and in the past month, I've had COVID. 3 years I went without
She
getting
made
it, and then I say my husband brought it home. He says he didn't, but he was sick before me. He just didn't.
He didn't get it bad, though.
Well, and he didn't get as bad as I did. Plus, he didn't test.
Mm.
But I went to bed, so I come down with it on a Monday night, and Wednesday when I went to bed, I kind of had a little tickle cough because I just had a little tickle. I didn't get a really bad cough. It was just it felt like something was a tickle in my throat.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got a cough drop and was sucking on it, and I'm like, I can't taste this.
Oh.
And so then I'm like, I put some lotion on my hands, and I'm like smelling the lotion. I couldn't smell the lotion. I'm here like, honey, smell my hands. He's like, I want to smell your hands. Anyway, I couldn't smell the lotion. And so anyway, I asked him to go the next day, and he went and got me a COVID test, and it tested positive for COVID. And so
You were pretty sick.
I was pretty sick. I wasn't
just tired.
I wasn't as sick with COVID as I was with RSV.
Yeah, that was worse.
But I didn't have a fever, but I was really achy, and I would shiver. I would just uncontrollable shiver, and I'd have to put my heating blanket around me to stop the shivering. And there was one day I did get a really bad sore throat. So then I was thinking I had strep.
Yeah, because it feels the same.
But after that first day, that one day it went away, and now
she's all back to normal except for crud.
A little bit of runny nose still, and every once in a while I get a little cough still. But
well,
so anyway, and then
do we have questions?
Well, one thing I want to say is my daughter is going in for open heart.
Right.
Is going for open heart surgery in 2 weeks. It'll be 2 weeks from this coming Wednesday, so the 29th of March. She was born with a leaky heart valve, which we actually didn't know about until she was 8 years old, and she had been healthy. She'd never been to a doctor.
Oh, okay.
Because she had always been healthy. Never got sick enough to go to the doctor or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And when she was 8 years old, we had a little incident that happened. And so I took her to the doctor for it. And he listened to her heart, and he says, she has a pretty significant heart murmur.
Oh.
And so then we ended up going to a pediatric cardiologist, and they did echocardiograms and all that stuff. And she has a leaky heart valve. And it's the valve. I think I'm not sure which is the aorta, maybe. It's the one that pumps the blood out of the heart. Anyway, so just with the pregnancy of the twins, it put a strain on her heart, and she's been having a little bit of problems. And so she went just in for her regular checkup back in February, and she was telling him, some of her symptoms and her heart racing and stuff, and the doctor decided that it was time
to fix it.
If I could have prayers, that would be greatly appreciated. She'll be in the hospital 6 to 10 days, and it is open heart surgery. They will actually have to crack her rib cage open and
the whole
everything.
schmear.
So she'll be in the hospital 6 to 10 days, and then she can't even lift her babies for 6 to 8 weeks.
And they're 8 months?
Almost 9. They'll be almost 9 months. I told her, I said, you need to teach them how to walk and walk fast. But so I will, and I need prayers too, because I'm going to have 2 9-month-old babies all by myself.
At least a couple weeks.
Well, the whole time she's in the hospital. When she gets home from the hospital, her husband, he works graveyard shifts, but he'll be available for her. And then she's got her older kids. And then spring break is the week before her surgery. So I was thinking I was going to get the older kids the time, I was going to have them most of the time.
They'll be back in school.
They're going to be back in school, so they're not even going to be here with me.
Oh, no.
So, anyway.
They'll be here in the evenings.
No.
Oh, they're not? They're going to go home?
They'll go to their aunt's house because of the school districts. They wouldn't have a bus
Oh,
from
okay.
here. So
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
yeah, so
Ooh.
different school districts, and
Yeah.
there's no way
You can't
I
take
could
them.
get up in the mornings and pack the babies and get them to school
That's true.
and then make sure they get home and stuff. So
Yeah, she'll need prayers for sure.
so anyway, I think that's it.
Okay, that's all I know about.
So we did have, or I had a question,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody had emailed us.
Mm-hmm.
Did they email us?
Yeah, I think so.
I can't remember who it was. I'm sorry. But I thought I would answer on here because I get the same question over and over. I get the same question over and over. So someone asked how I do when a chart has 1/1 stitching, because the chart calls for linen, and it has 1/1 stitching, how I do that on Ada.
Right.
So you can do it on Ada,
Mm-hmm.
but it's really hard, and I don't think it looks good.
No, because you're piercing the middle of a stitch and it just never comes out right.
You're piercing the middle of the Ada
The cloth, actually.
Yeah, anyway, it just doesn't look right. So what I do is I either don't do it and just leave that off and I'll put a motif there, or I'll do something. Like there was something I stitched here a while back, and it had a bird that was 1/1. It was, do I have it here? I don't think so, because I can't remember what it was, but it had a bird. I do. Actually, I'll show it in a little bit.
Okay.
But the bird's legs were 1/1. I just did regular cross stitches, and it looks fine.
As long as there's room, there's no reason
so instead
not
of
to.
doing like 4
little baby
stitches on the legs, I just did 2 or 3. Yeah. If it's wording, I'll change the wording, or I'll regraph it, is what I usually do. I just buy graph paper and I'll regraph the wording, or I'll do outlining.
Do you move like if the words are here, do you move stuff down so when they're bigger, they'll fit on there?
Yeah.
Just move the chart down.
Yeah, you can do that. You can move the chart down. And anyway, I'm going to pause this for a second.
We're back.
Okay, sorry. I wanted to show this. So this is a JBW chart. I think it's called Green Gables.
Oh,
And on this one, this right here and this right here was all 1/1 stitching.
Oh, okay.
And it was, you could do full crosses or whatever. So I just recharted it and did back stitching. And I was able to put everything that it said in there.
Without changing the chart.
Without changing the chart or the spacing or anything else. Excuse me. And I just did back stitching.
That looks really cute too.
So there's...
That's another solution to 1/1 stitching on Ada.
And it looks good.
It does. I think it looks great.
I think so too.
It says everything it was supposed to say.
Yeah. So anyway,
that's an example.
And it's not hard to rechart things, or you can find a motif from another pattern, another chart that you can put in that space, or...
Yeah, if you want to stitch something that has 1/1 on Ada, just go ahead and do it.
I don't ever not stitch anything because it has 1/1 stitching, because if that was the case, there's a lot of with the needle and thread charts I would not stitch.
Right.
There's a lot of Plum Street that I wouldn't stitch.
Yeah, Plum Street has some. Yeah. So, and that would be sad.
Yep.
So she just finds another way to do it.
All right.
Are we to FFOs?
Yep. Fully finishes.
Why don't you start with yours?
Okay. So I'll start with these ones.
Yeah. Those are little.
Okay. So I don't have the chart. I don't have the chart. I think I threw it away, actually.
It's a Mill Hill kit.
But my daughter is a total taco fanatic. I think if her family would let her, she would make tacos for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Oh.
Anyway, and they even know her at Taco Bell through the drive-thru.
They know her
They know her by name and by order. Anyway, so her birthday was this past Friday.
Uh-huh.
And so I decided to stitch her up a taco.
That is so cute.
So this is a Mill Hill kit. And you can see all the sparkly beads on it.
Here, I'll hold this one.
I don't know if...
So you can see all the beads.
And there was enough in there of beads and floss. I made me one too.
And you put a little heart on this one.
Yeah,
made
so
with love.
The kit came with a little Mill Hill treasure. And so on hers, I put the little charm that says made with love. And on mine, I put the treasures.
It's so cute.
So, and
it looks just like a taco.
And I had, so I did have to, get some more perforated paper to make the second taco. But there was enough floss to make it. And I always use just 2 strands of floss on Mill Hills. I think 3 strands is too chunky.
And they give you plenty of beads.
And I had enough beads to do 2, except for, I think there was like 10 red ones that I didn't have. It looks like enough.
A taco.
So anyway, and then I just finished it with felt and it magnets so it can go on her fridge. And then this one will go on my fridge.
They're really cute.
They are cute. They turned out really cute.
All right.
All right. And then, so because I had COVID, I stitched a lot. But I actually had 5 things I wanted to get framed, and I only got 3 framed. So this is one of them. This is by Pinker and Pumpkin Quilting. She's on Instagram, and she has a blog, and this chart was on her blog. So if you go back to, I think it was January.
Yeah.
You can find this chart, and it's free. All her charts are free.
She has great charts. It's
and
Melissa.
This is called Farmhouse Sampler. And I stitched it on 14 count Ancient by Picture This Plus. It's just a scrap I had. And I wanted it to fit in a 5x7 frame. So this does have it's charted with a border, and I left the border off.
It fits perfect.
Yep. And I used my own DMC, or my own conversion. She always uses DMC on her charts. But I just pulled from my stash what I thought looked closest to the picture.
That's so cute. Turned out great.
That one.
This one is gorgeous.
This one is called What Remains by Blackbird Designs. And I stitched this in honor of my mom and dad.
Here, I'll hold it so you can talk.
And it's stitched on 18 count Bee's Knees by Seraphim Fabrics with DMC and overdyed floss, but not the called for. I just matched it the best I could to the front of the picture.
It's so cute.
So it has my mom and my dad's initials, and I put my mom's maiden name initial. So my mom and dad's initials. This is their wedding date. And then I put the initials of my siblings. So there's my brother, and my sister, and myself.
That's so pretty.
And then on the back, I have an envelope. Do you want to turn it? I just put a library envelope, and I ordered these off of Amazon. You can get like 100 for not very much money. And then I did a library card, and it has the design name. I just put the design name and who it's by. I don't put all the
fabric and all that kind of stuff.
Because I have a book, I put that in. And honestly,
no one's really going to care.
Yeah, this is going to be a piece that will, go on to my children and hopefully my grandchildren. And they don't care. They don't care what color fabric or floss.
No.
So I put the day I started it and the day I finished it. And then I put on here information like started and stitched this design on my parents' 71st wedding anniversary in honor of my parents. And then I put their name. And then I personalized it with, I put the information, what I personalized it with and all of that. And then I put our names. And then, like, my brother Michael is M, so that. And then what I did is I included some pictures.
That's a great idea.
To go on the back. So I included a couple of pictures of my parents. And then I included a family picture. And I didn't have any like family pictures of us all as adults. So I included this one, and this is my brother and my sister and my brother, and this little one is me. I'm quite a bit younger than my siblings, and then my parents. So that's the family picture I included.
That's a great idea.
But since I included family pictures, I wanted a card that said,
who they were.
who is who and all that. So I have that included on the back also.
That's a great idea. So you put it in your little pocket.
Yep. Let's see. One of my pictures is turned crooked. I just put it in my little pocket. And
there it is.
Yep. My husband still has to put a little
hanger
on the back of that for me. And then the last one I finished.
Oh, I love this one.
This is called
Heartland Sampler.
Heartland Sampler by the Scarlet House. It is stitched on, I don't know. And I don't know.
Closer.
I don't think it's in my book in here either.
Mystery linen. Well, Ada. Mystery Ada.
Yeah, I know it's an 18 count, and I don't have it in my book. I know it's an 18 count. As I was stitching this, I had no intentions of personalizing this when I first started it. My daughter gave me the chart for Mother's Day one year, and I just loved it. So I was just stitching it. But as I was stitching it, it reminded me of my aunt and uncle, who is actually my dad's aunt and uncle. But they raised my dad. So they were actually like grandparents to me. And as I was growing up, they just lived like a half a mile down the canal bank from me. And so I was at their house all the time. And anyway, as I was stitching it, just everything on this spoke to me that this was supposed to be personalized for them. So they had a huge willow tree in their yard. Their house was white. It wasn't several stories, but it was a white house. My aunt was a prolific gardener, and she canned everything.
Oh.
She canned everything. Nothing went to waste in their home. My uncle was a dairy farmer, but he had a small dairy. It was just enough to support their family.
Oh, good.
And they milked Holsteins, and I wish I kind of would have
made a black and white cow.
Made a black and white, but I had already stitched the cow before I even decided what I was,
Oh.
And then he had a dairy barn. Their dairy barn was rock.
Oh, nice.
It was
one of the old ones.
Yeah. So anyway, so I personalized it with their last name. This is the year they were married, and then I put their initials right there.
Oh, that is just so cute. All kinds of little animals and birds.
And I did the same on the back.
Pocket on the back.
Did the pocket. And I put, when I started, when I finished, this chart was given to me from Amber, my daughter, for Mother's Day. And then I just put some information about, why I personalized it. I also have included a picture of my aunt and uncle. And then also what I did is I went and for every element in here that reminded me of my aunt and uncle, I just kind of typed up a little memory thing, and I put a memory of the willow tree. And one thing my aunt with her, canning her garden and that, when you would go over to her house, it didn't matter what time of the day it was. You left with a full meal in your belly.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
She cooked for everybody that entered her house. So I thought that was kind of...
That is so
cool.
So cool.
But yeah, that's my dad's aunt and uncle. But so this will be one that hopefully will be... And what's sad is the willow tree is no longer there. We went out to the cemetery to put flowers on my parents' grave, and it's where I was raised is kind of by the cemetery. And so I had my husband drive over past where I was raised, and I said, let's go over by my Uncle Bill and Aunt Eva's house. And they've tore down the willow tree, and the house is no longer there, and it's just
Is the rock barn there?
The rock barn is still there.
Those tend to stay unless they're falling down.
But there was not even any grass.
Oh.
Nothing. It was just all dirt. It
There.
was sad.
Change.
Very sad. But
is that all your
that's
fully
all
finished?
my fully finishes.
Okay, I have a couple. Let me start with this one, and I somehow got away from home. Oh, by the way, today we are at Nancy's house. You're back in her craft room, not my sister's house.
Yes.
Go ahead.
We will be doing at your sister's house mostly.
But because we had a redo, we wanted lots of time, lots of quiet. Right. We're going to really work on this. So this is Brenda Gervais pattern with thy needle and thread, and it's called Be My Valentine. And this is actually a Whitman candy box. It's about a 6-inch diameter Whitman candy box is what her pattern calls for.
And it tells you how to do all this, right?
Yeah, that's all in the pattern. And you paint the box red, and then this is scrapbook paper that there's a pattern that you cut out, and I put some lace and a couple buttons on it and hung this key on it, like the key to my heart.
Just that is so cute.
Yeah, I know. And then you open it up, and inside there's this tiny little Valentine envelope that is so cute. And let me set that down. This opens up. Whoops. And it's just big enough to have a square, let me get up here, a square of wool in it for your needles and a little needle threader, just a little wire one. And so you just put those in there.
So do you sew it wrong side out and then just turn it?
Yeah, I just turned it. It's a piece of linen.
Your stitches were you closed up? I could not even tell.
Thank you.
They're perfect. Mine are not.
That's what I always try to get it that way. And then you just tie it with some thread, but there's a sweet little tiny bird and a little heart. And then those two little buttons in the back is just the back of the linen. So there's that tiny little envelope.
That is so cute.
I know. And then there's a pillow, a heart-shaped pillow with this little white bird on it. And I just stuck a pin in it with a button and made an incision on the back and sewed it shut with some wool, and then put Lady Dot Creates Vintage is the color on the outside edge. And I just glued it on. It's not stitched. I usually stitch it. And I could, because I usually glue it first, then stitch it, but I haven't stitched it. And then I just lined the inside of the box with some paper. So it's not hard to do. It takes several steps, but it's an easy finish, and it's so cute. And you just put it all back together, and there's your little box.
It's really cute.
So there's that one. And then I was working on, this came apart in the car on the way here. I was working on this Jardin Privé. It's called A Rabbit's Garden. And it actually on the pattern has a little base like this. It's round with a little base. And I just left the little base off so it would fit in this clock. And I think it turned out really cute. It fit perfectly. And that was a fun one. And then this is a start and a finish since last time. I ordered this little bee bag from Shepherd's Bush, and it came with the pattern. It's a kit, and it comes with this little bag, and it has a zipper.
And the bag's already made.
The bag's already made, and it has linen stitched in here. So you just find the center of your linen and stitch the little design, and it turns out so cute. There's a couple, I think there's 3 buttons, and some little bees and some sheep, and
Shepherd's Bush always has sheep.
Oh, they do. Yes, they do.
charts.
And then I thought, well, that is such a cute little bag. I would like to do one with tomatoes on it. So I just looked at it and figured out how to make it. So I made a little bag with, I had some fabric with some tomatoes. So I'm going to stitch some tomatoes on the front, and it's just the same little bag with a zipper, and you make little gussets in the bottom so it has a bottom to it. And
So So this is her own made up pattern.
Yeah, I didn't have their
just,
pattern or
yeah,
anything.
she just looked at this bag to make her own pattern.
Made my own pattern, and I had a little tomato charm to put on it. So I'm going to try and get some tomatoes stitched on that. So that was fun.
So next month.
Next month I'll have a tomato bag.
Okay, you're committed now.
I'm committed now. Okay, and then I had 2 more finishes.
Do you want to go into? Is that all
these are just finished. Oh, I have one more fully finished. There we go.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember me doing this embroidery. It's called Homebodies by Charlotte Lyons. She's on Etsy, and her patterns come already printed on the fabric, so you don't have to trace the pattern on your fabric, which is wonderful. And all you have to do is pick your colors and stitch it. And when I got it finished, I thought I'm going to make this into a project bag. So that's what I did using Lori Holt fabric.
This is the cheater fabric. So
yeah.
It's already
looks like it's pieced, but it's not. It's just printed. And then I had a little problem. I was showing it to my mom. I got it all done, went to show it to her, and I had ironed it. And my iron had spit brown stuff right here. And I thought instead of trying to, bleach it out or something, I just put buttons on. So I scattered a couple buttons, and you can't see that brown spatter stuff. That makes me so mad when that happens.
And I've had expensive.
Oh, this is a Rowenta.
Yeah.
Expensive iron.
I have found my cheap Black & Decker that I get for less than $10 at Walmart is the only iron that I've had that has never spit.
Do you put water in it? Because a lot of
Yep.
people say don't even ever put water in your iron, and then you won't have that
Yep.
trouble. But I like steam irons.
So I thought, I could spend a lot of money.
Yeah, mine's probably in.
And buy an expensive one, but I hear so many horror stories, and so I
Makes me
have
so mad. Yeah, your little Black & Decker
my
works
cheap
great.
Black & Decker, and I put water in it, and
then I had these little wooden beads laying around, and I thought, oh, that's kind of a cute pole. I just put cross stitch on it and hung it on my.
cute. I love it.
What's inside? Oh, inside is another Lori Holt fabric. That's it's little hearts that are cross stitched. I don't know if you can see it.
It's from her stitch line.
Yeah, the stitch line.
Yeah,
So it's hard to see, but
cute.
it turned out cute, and it's a huge bag. You could probably even put a scroll frame in there. So that's all my final finishes. Right there. Okay. Do you have
I have finishes
because
I had COVID and I
she
sat
finished and
watched,
finished.
watched TV and I stitched. So I did a lot of embroidery. I did a lot of cross stitch. And this is in no particular order. So I had finished a lot of times. So I'm going to talk about my rotation in a minute.
Okay.
But what I have in my rotation, if I finish it that week and I still have days left, then I've been pulling out Mill Hill kits, and that's when I started the tacos. And I finished something else, and I still had a couple of days left, and so I pulled out a Mill Hill kit, and this is the one I did. It's S'mores, and this is my
It's so
finish.
cute.
It has lots
of beads.
lots of
All
beads.
the white is beaded.
You couldn't even tell this said S'mores until you added the beads.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's very
And
cute.
I'm going to put this in my camper, but it is all still closed up for the winter. So I'm not sure how I want to finish this, if I want to finish it on a hanger or if I want to put the magnet on it or what.
You can kind of see the beads.
So this is where it's going to stay until
So
we open
cute.
up our camper.
Yeah.
So yeah, love it. It's cute. And then I just bought some
Felt
felt
for the back.
For the back.
Very cute.
Right, and then this was one of my things I put in my rotation for February. So on my rotation, because I'm trying to get my whip count down, I usually pick 2 old whips to pull into my rotation for the month. And I usually, with my rotation, I give it a week. From Monday through Saturday, because I have a Sunday stitch. And lately I've been finishing everything
is.
in
And
that.
everything she
in
picked
that,
up.
Yeah. So this is Forever and Ever by With Thy Needle and Thread.
You want me to hold that?
And I started this in February of 2022, I believe.
Forever and Ever.
Let's see. I have everything written in my book, so I'm going to be referring to my book.
I love those books.
Okay, so Forever and Ever, I started February 28th, 2022, and I finished February 16th, 2023. It is stitched on 14 count.
It's a big one.
Parchment by Zweigart. And
Do you want me to hold it closer?
I switched out the colors. I just picked DMC that matched the pattern, the picture on the pattern. So
That is so pretty.
and it is big.
It is big.
It's really big. So I changed all the W's because there's several W's, and that is the beginning of our last name. So I put them all in blue. I changed this to the blue. So I just this side had all this blue in it, and I needed to balance it. So I did. What does it say? In my heart, forever and ever.
Then you put your initials on.
And this is the year we were married, and then our initials. There's mine, and there's my husband's.
Very, very pretty. So, that is so cute.
It was a finish.
You finished a couple big ones.
I did. So, and then I finished, this is Shepherd's Sampler by With Thy Needle and Thread. And this is not what the pattern looks like.
That's what her pattern looks like.
It's stuck to the vinyl.
On the bag.
I don't like vinyl bags for that reason.
Another big one.
And there is my finish.
So pretty.
This one, let's see if I don't know if this one's written in my book. Yes it is.
33.
This one is, I started this in December of 2018. So this is my oldest whip.
It is so pretty.
And I finished it February 22nd, 2023.
What's it stitched on?
It's stitched on 14 count Aida that I dyed, and then I dunked it in coffee. And the reason I know I dunked it in coffee is because when I iron it, you can smell the coffee. And my own thread conversion.
It is so cute.
But the threads do match
the picture.
Yeah, they do match the picture.
So how many whips have you started last August with? 32.
Yes, and I have 12.
Wow, she's finished 20 whips since last August.
I have given up on 3, I think.
Oh, okay.
So of the 32, 3 have not, or just 2 of them have been unkitted completely. One of them is still kitted, but it's not. I just UFO'd it maybe eventually. So for March, so I picked 2 whips for March. One of them was this one, 2 Roosters by Little House Needleworks. I had this one done, so I had to stitch this one. So here's the first one.
Very cute.
And let me see if I can find information on this one. I don't know if it's in my book.
Here, I'll hold it close so you can see it.
It is in my book.
It is a cute little white rooster.
All right, this one I started in April of 2022 and finished on March 3rd. So there's my finish. So when I do with my whips, if there's more than one pattern in the chart and I want to stitch it all, it is considered a whip till they're all done. And is that how you do it? So this one is all of my own thread conversion.
And this looks like 14 count.
It's 14
that
count
you dyed.
that I dyed by me. I think I wrote down pearl gray and taupe.
That's what it looks like.
So, and I'm going to frame them. I have some chickens that belong to my mom, and they're on top of my hutch. So I'm going to frame these and then put them on easels up with those chickens.
They're going to be cute. Cute, cute.
So, and then because I finished my anniversary sampler, I started another one. Now my anniversary is the 29th of February. We were married on leap day. It was not a first marriage for either one of us, and so we just wanted something fun. So I started for my anniversary this year, Always and Forever.
It's very cute.
My little house needleworks. And here is my finish. I started and finished it in 2 days.
Yeah, that was a really fast one.
This is stitched on 14 count vintage country mocha. I was hoping it would fit in a 5x7 frame.
It's too tall.
When I did the fabric calculator and all
Yeah.
that, it said it would fit in a 5x7 frame. But it won't. I mean, because this is more than 7
More than
inches.
7, yeah. It's at least, looks like 8.
So I am probably going to have to cut a frame down. I used, for the darker on there, is Color and Cotton Stargazing. And I belong to the Color and Cotton 5 skein primitive threads
Mm-hmm.
that I get every month.
Let me put this behind it.
And this came, I don't know if it was January or whatever. And then for the lighter color is Classic Colorworks Old Blue Jeans.
So the girl and boy are old blue jeans and the hearts, and then the darker blue is Stargazer.
Yeah, by Color and Cotton.
Very
So,
cute. Turned out very nice. Another one to frame.
Then, last time on our video, I mentioned a unicorn chart that I had, and it was by Blackbird Designs called It's Berry Time. That was called, yeah, It's Berry Time. Well, I had a friend reach out to me on Instagram, and she says, I have the chart. Would you like to borrow it? And I'm like, yes,
Yes,
please.
please.
And I'm not mentioning her name because she asked us not to mention her name. So this is the chart.
It is so pretty.
And I started this on March 3rd. And I finished it on March 11th.
It was a fast one, too.
It was.
It's so pretty. Is the light shining through it?
I was just going to see if we had
I
anything.
have this. I'll go behind most of it.
Let's go down. There we go. It is stitched on 18 count corn silk. 18 count Ada corn silk by Seraphim. And it is stitched with DMC 498.
That is so pretty.
I love it.
I do too.
So, thank you. You know who you are.
Yes.
I appreciate it. And I will get the chart back in the mail to you. And that's it.
Okay.
That's all of my finishes for the last month.
Well, if you remember, I was working on My Peaceful House. This is a Plum Street. And I stitched it on Confederate gray 36 count linen with 1/2 and all the called for colors. And I haven't finished the drum. I have it sewn together, but I haven't stuffed it. And I love this little peacock on top of the house. And there's a pink house. And then the numbers are kind of scattered all over. I had to really pay attention because they don't go in order. So I had to watch what I was doing to make sure I got them all on there. A deer and a little robin and a couple of red funky birds. They might be cardinals, I'm not sure. And then another tree with a robin and a little deer and some sheep. And then the peacock is holding a vine with pink flowers on it and a little pink house. So that's going to be really cute. I have the Lady Dot Creates light blue velveteen to go on the top, just like the pattern, and the chenille that goes with it. Whoops. So I hope to get that finished soon. I have another drum to do that I finished. I'll show you that one next. It's this Pennsylvania Dutch tomato pin keep. by With Thy Needle and Thread, Miss Brenda. And it is right here. Let's see. I have it ironed and ready to stitch into a drum, but it's going to have to be done by hand because it ends right in the middle of a motif. So when I put it together, it's going to have to be like perfect to get it to all match up. So I'm going to do that by hand. I know I can't do it on the sewing machine and get it to match up, but it was stitched with DMC 22 on called for 36 count. What is it? Vintage country mocha. I got the vintage and the mocha part, but I couldn't remember the other part. And it's just a little Pennsylvania Dutch sampler. So when I finish, I'll stitch this together by hand, and then I'll have 2 drums to finish. And I also have the Lady Dots velveteen to go with this. And I do still need, you stitch this little strawberry. So I still need to stitch that little strawberry to finish it like it's in there. But it's going to be really cute. And then I finished, my mom picked this sampler for herself. It's the Redbird Sampler by With Thy Needle and Thread. And I'm sure you've seen it a million times. But I did finish it, and I personalized it for my mom. She taught me to sew when I was 5 and all the needlework. So I put for my mother, Susan Clark, who taught me to stitch. And then my initials are in the middle here. And I used all the called for colors, and it's stitched 1/1. And I really like the way it turned out.
It's stitched 1/2.
1/2, I'm sorry.
Is this 1/1 though?
Yes, the houses are 1/1.
So that is tiny.
Yeah, that's tiny. It's hard to get in here with the microphone. I don't want to bump it. But yeah, that is 1/1. But it was fun to stitch, and it went fast. It's not that big, not that many motifs, and it is a mirror image. So everything that's on the right is on the left. The only thing that's by itself are these down the middle. So that turned out really cute. My husband's going to build a frame for it.
Those houses are just really cute.
Yeah, they're teeny tiny. And I think that's it for finished.
Finishes.
Yeah. Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Whips.
Go ahead, start your
Whip it.
whips.
Whip
Whips,
it.
whips.
All right. So, because I finished It's Berry Time, and it was, it was towards the end of my rotation.
Mm-hmm.
I had some time that evening to start something, so I started another meal hill kit.
That one is really cute.
I want this one for my camper too.
Uh-huh.
And anyway, this is where I'm at. All the stitching is done.
Just needs its beads.
And I've done some of the beads. So you can see I've done the beads in the tree, done the beads down here, and all the red beads in here. If you can see them.
That is so cute.
Anyway, there's red. Trust me, there's red beads here. Yeah. So I just need to finish the last little beading on this.
Those are so fun.
And then it will be done.
Yup.
And do you want to alternate or?
I only have 3.
1, 2, 3. I have 4 more. I'll do one more and then you
Okay.
can do one. This one was a start and finish, or start and whip. It's a start.
It's a whip now, right?
It's a whip now since our last video. But this is what the full picture looks like. This is one I just took off of the internet.
The interweb.
But it's called Song of the Seasons by Little House Needleworks. And it was a 3-part mystery back in, I don't know when, 2013. So this isn't a good picture.
Cute.
And I wanted a picture that I could look at and reference to as I'm stitching, because
I
this
like
is a
that too.
100% conversion,
Ah,
color conversion. And pull out my thread. Here's my threads.
they're really pretty.
So I pulled one DMC. There's some Weeks Dye Works, Classic Color Works, and Victorian Model. So those colors are really pretty.
Yep.
So, and this is where I'm at.
So cute.
I just have the bottom, and it's just mostly wording and then a small border. So
that is so cute.
my plan is to get it finished this month. And
Very cute.
I had to outline the birdhouses because
What's it done on?
they weren't showing up. This is done on,
It's like 18 count.
let me find it's 18 count driftwood by Color and Cotton. I wish I could get into their club, their fabric club.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I have tried and tried and tried. I've been on the wait list, and anyway. So
that is cute.
total floss conversion. So if you want to know what I used, just send me a message on Instagram and I can send you a picture of my floss.
Good idea. Okay, I have one here. That is, let's see, I'm gonna steal my board. They look better against a board, I think. This one is another mystery sampler, but it's by Lizzie Kate, and it's called Things Unseen. It's still available. I got it quite a while ago when it first came out, but there are 3 parts to it, so you have to buy all 3 parts to get the whole pattern.
And it does have an embellishment kit.
Yes.
You can stitch the pieces on, or you can get the embellishment kit, and it is also sold separately.
Let's see, I'll put this on this board. I don't have a whole lot done, but, oops, sorry. I do have a start. Better hold it up a little better. So I just have the top section done. But it's a fun one. These little flowers here, I don't know if you can tell, they're satin stitched. And you did this one too, right?
Yeah, I'll show it.
Oh, you have it to show. Okay. Yeah, so that's as far as I am.
And it's stitched on.
This is Legacy by Picture This Plus. And it's a 36 count.
36
Yep. 36 count. Legacy by Picture This Plus. So it's a nice piece. It has more modeling on the back, I think. I chose the front because it wasn't as modeled, but this one section over here is pretty modeled-y. But I really like it. It stitches like a dream. I love that fabric. Wow. I'm going to have to get more of that. Actually, I have something started on another piece I'll show you too. So that's that one. What do you got next?
So the next one I have is my Sunday stitch. And this was my Sunday stitch for January and February. And I've now put it up for a couple of months because I was getting tired of it. And it is Land That I Love by Teresa Kogut. And, oops, I'm all caught.
It's a big one.
It is a big one.
Do you want my board? Maybe not.
It is stitched on 18 count driftwood by Color and Cotton. It's the other part of the one I just showed, of the fabric I just showed.
You want to show it up closer?
Yeah. So I'll show it up closer, and then I'll show you what I did.
It's so pretty.
So I started this in July of 2021, and I stitched this corner and a couple of alphabets. And then everybody was showing it on Flosstube, and I thought, I don't have a big enough piece of fabric. So I went and did all of the what I call the skeleton of the border, which is just this brown squiggly thing. And I stitched it clear over to here and realized, yes, I do have enough fabric. And then I put it away. So when I pulled it out in January, the first Sunday in January, I stitched, I've stitched on it, and I got clear over to here, and then I started stitching. So I did this, and then I like to do my border and then go in and fill in.
Uh-huh.
And then I'll do more of my border and fill in. That way I don't get bored. Well, so I did all of the border clear down to here, and then I started filling this in, and I am one stitch too close to the border.
Uh-oh.
So I'm thinking, oh no, I did not want to have to tear out all that border.
No.
So I just looked on the chart and kind of looked clear down, and there is enough space that I'm okay that I'm one stitch closer,
That's
one
good.
stitch less. But what had happened is because I had left it off a year and a half ago right here, and then when I started back up, I didn't check to make sure I hadn't missed anything, and I had missed a stitch right in here.
Oh.
And so then I decided to go and go ahead and do the skeleton of the border, because I knew when I got down here I was going to have to
Make it up.
miss that stitch again when I got down here, so it would come out even.
Yep.
So anyway, that is how big it will be.
It's great.
Everybody that shows on Flosstube, though, it looks bigger.
It does. It's
it's big, but
It even looks bigger. Huh.
yeah.
I don't know. It's really
But
a
there it
pretty one.
is. So I put this away for
Excuse me.
March and April. I'll probably pull it back out in May.
To work on
And
in
work on
July and Memorial Day
Yeah.
and stuff.
So I have another Sunday stitch that I've started. Do you want me to show?
Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead. Start your new Sunday stitch.
So March, so I'm going to use this as my Sunday stitch for March and April. And it is Madame Lafayette.
Mm-hmm.
And that is in French, and I don't know what it's called other than, well, I do know what it's called. It's called A Country Life, I think. But it's in French. So even the words are in French right here.
Yeah.
So I may rechart those words.
It's really cute. It's
So
a pretty big one too.
Yeah. I've worked on it 2 Sundays now.
And this was a whip, or did you start?
This was an old whip.
An old whip.
Mhm.
Okay.
So this is where I'm at. So when I started it the 1st of March, I had this done. I had most of this done and just the dark part of this. So in 2 Sundays, I've pretty much stitched all that.
Yeah, and isn't that cute?
So yeah.
That is just
Love it.
darling. I love it too.
So cute. And I don't know what I'm stitching this on other than it's 14 count. And it's one of the ones that's printed on the front, but not on the back. But I don't know what it's called.
Is it fabric flare?
No, it's not fabric
not
flare.
fabric
It's just
flare.
a Zweigart.
Oh, it's a Zweigart printed.
Uh-huh,
Okay.
Zweigart
It's really
printed.
pretty.
But it's kind of a light tan.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm telling, so it's not hard. This is not a hard stitch because there's a lot of just blocks of color. But there is a lot of confetti stitching in that. And this basket, this is going to be a
boy.
basket. It is no joke.
Let's see.
Right?
There, picnic basket.
Yeah, there is probably, I'm going to say 8 or 9 colors. Just,
So is that the cloth on the top
just in the, no,
Yes.
this is the picnic basket.
itself? It's
Mhm.
not the cloth.
And I stitched
Oh, it is the basket.
I stitched these white flowers last night while we were doing our little Zoom meet
Oh,
with some
good.
stitching friends. So basically white on white right there.
That's hard.
And the little ladybug. There is some back stitching in this, but it's super,
It's pretty minimal.
yeah, it's minimal.
Yeah,
'Cause
the little lines.
I'm going to
for
show this because you can't tell. All those, that's
That's
all
the
the back
back
stitching
stitching.
in the whole pattern. It's right there. So I'm
You have done really
thinking-
good on that.
I'm thinking I'll have this done by the end of April. I don't think it'll have to be carried over.
Probably not.
Anymore.
Even as a Sunday stitch, you get a lot done in one Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday is the one day my husband works. I don't ever have anything going on, and so it's the day I can mostly stitch
Stitch.
almost all day. So
Well, my next whip is one that mentioned that this was my unicorn chart, their song by Blackbird Design, and a Stitchy friend texted me and said, I have that one that you could borrow if you'd like. I said, yes, I just want to stitch it. I don't need to buy the pattern. I just want to stitch it. So she generously sent it to me. And this is how far I am. I just have the bird in the middle. I start in the middle, so I have the middle finished, and now I'm going to go up to the top with all the words and then finish the bottom. Do you want to hold that up so they can see where I am? I don't have a ton done, but I'm working on it. And this is the other piece of the Legacy 36 count Legacy by Picture This Plus, and I love this fabric. It's so easy to stitch on, and it's soft, easy to see the holes. So
Is this your first time stitching on Picture This Plus?
It is.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
It's the first time I've stitched on Picture This Plus, and I love it.
See, and the Ada of Picture This Plus, I have to stitch it in a Q-snap because it needs to be tight. Otherwise, because it's so soft,
that you can't see the holes.
And I go up and split the stitches.
Oh no, this is perfect. I love it. I always use a hoop.
But I do love it, but
I always stitch with a hoop anyway, so it works great. Do you have one more?
No, go ahead and show that, and then I'll show
this. This is my last one, and it's in its own bag that I'm actually stitching on. And this is called Stitch by Shepherd's Bush, and it was designed for this mesh bag. You can either get the bag from Shepherd's Bush, or you can get it from
Fat
Quarter Shop. Yeah, and I had to contact Shepherd's Bush. I already had the bag, and I had the pattern, and then I had to contact them. It's stitched with number 5 Pearl Cotton, and they carry all of that.
There you go.
So it's a mess. Yes, it is. But they even have, there's a couple Weeks Dye Works colors, and they carry Weeks Dye Works Pearl Cotton number 5. So you can get it all from them. And I heard somebody on Flosstube say it's easiest if you stitch it upside down because you can reach into the bag, and then it's facing you up. I do this every time. Let me zip it up. But I stitch it upside down so I can reach in and stitch. And when you do that, all you have to do is turn your pattern upside down. Oh, sorry. Turn the pattern upside down. I'll show the picture upside down. But yeah, just turn your pattern upside down, and then you can stitch it upside down.
Yeah, so it's easier to reach in through the bottom rather than trying to reach in through the top.
So when I have it facing me, it's upside down to me, but I can reach through the opening and stitch. And this mesh is not hard to stitch on, and you do 1 strand of Pearl Cotton number 5 over 2 squares. And it stitches up really fast. I did this in one evening.
So this would almost be like stitching on Ada.
Yeah, it is. Except you do go over 2 holes.
You do over 2. Yeah.
You do go over 2 holes. But it stitches really fast. And that's my last whip.
All right, and my last whip I actually haven't stitched on, but it'll go into my rotation tonight. So I'll stitch on it tonight. And this is also
the Things Unseen
by Lizzie Kate.
Mm-hmm.
And I started this one. Let me see if it's in my book. Some of my older whips aren't in my book.
I don't see it.
22.
Oh, I didn't see it. But it is in there.
So I can give you the information on it. Okay, so this was started in March of 2021.
She's quite a bit farther than I am.
Yes, because I've worked on it since March of 2021.
And this is on 14 count, so it's pretty big.
Yeah, 14 count parchment by Swigart. Called for DMCs with the exception of 2 flosses that I did change.
But see, I just have this section up here done, and she's doing it. It goes page by page. So isn't this 1 and 2?
This is
and then 3 across the bottom.
I'm not sure. I thought this was 1, 2, and 3.
I don't know. I don't know either. Because I took a copy of mine and taped it together for a working copy. Because I hate to do one page at a time and not be able to see where I'm going.
Yeah. No. So this is page 1 up down to
that line. And then page 2 is where the house is.
And then page 2 and then page 3.
So you did 1 and 3, and now you're doing 2.
Okay. Yeah, because I started in the middle and went this way and went up, and then I came down and started going.
Okay.
So I'll go up.
I taped mine together and started in the middle and went up and finished all of that. So now I'm ready to do.
And mine
all of
probably
this.
would have been better taped together because I have all these.
I have a terrible time where they overlap.
So and I did buy the embellishment pack.
Me too.
For it too. So that's why there's some empty
Blanks.
spots. And then I ran out of this floss, but I've since got it. So I need to go down there and finish that.
That's really pretty too.
And then I'll just work up, and I'm hoping.
I love it. I can't wait to get mine done.
I'm hoping this week I'll have it done. Let's see. There's also a bonus chart in here. I'm not sure if I'm going to stitch it. It doesn't have a picture though, does it?
Pin pillow, isn't it?
I think so. It doesn't have a chart in here or a picture.
No. No, there's not.
But anyway,
that's a cute.
So this is going into my rotation tonight, and
Yay.
I'm hoping
you'll get it.
I can
pretty close.
Get it finished this week.
I bet you get it done. Knowing you, I'll bet you get it done.
So I stitch in the mornings. I usually do like an hour of embroidery, and then.
Did you have your embroidery whips to show them?
Yeah, I'll show those in a second.
And I caught up with you, and I left it at home.
Anyway, so I embroidery in the mornings, just like an hour. I'll do like maybe a thread or whatever, a color or whatever, and then I quilt during the day, and then at night is the only time I really stitch. Except for on Sundays. So.
Yeah.
Okay. What else do I have?
Do you have your quilt whips?
I have. Let me do my embroidery whips first.
Okay.
Okay. So, I belong to Under the Garden. We both do. Under the Garden Moon Club. It's a club through them for a embroidery book.
Block of the month.
It's going to be a book when it's all done. You can still sign up for it. It's not.
It never ends.
It's not a
it
one
just
and
goes and goes.
Yeah, it's not a one and done. And so, if say you were signed up in March, the first one you will get is in April, and you will get the first one, which is this one.
The front page. It's page 1 and page 4.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. So I started mine in. Well, we both.
I think we both started in June. We ordered them in May, started them in June.
Yes.
And we get one every month on about the 8th of the month, isn't it?
Yeah, about that. I
think. She has tutorials on her video, and for every stitch, so you can.
Yeah. So when you sign up for the block of the month, you get a password that you can go onto YouTube and see how to. To do the stitches.
It's really good.
And she's really good at explaining. So anyway, this was the first one, and we both have done this one. And we've showed them before. And then this was the second page.
We're both holding off on our bullions. We have to practice them.
So when you get them, it's printed. So she tells you where to go in, where to come out, how to do it.
Which thread to use, which needle to use, everything you need to know.
So this was the second month. And then this was the third month. And I don't think I've shown. Have you done this one? Okay.
Yeah. But I don't think we've shown it.
I don't think we've shown it. And so that was the third month.
Then I did this one.
This was the fourth month. And
this was the fun one, I thought.
I got a string.
The chain stitches were really fun.
This was one I did during COVID. When I had COVID. What I would do is just put my computer out by my stitchy chair.
That's what
and
I
would
do.
stitch until my computer died.
Oh.
So I could get pretty much a page done. Yeah, and
really fun.
This one was a lot of fun.
Yeah, the chains, the
But
reverse chain.
There's like all different stitches. Reverse chain.
That was all chain.
Heavy chain.
Well, Lazy Daisy and chain are the same thing. So she had you do all different kinds of chains.
She taught you a reverse chain. Now,
which is wonderful.
I've done regular chain
I have
stitches,
too.
and they're not, I could never get them to look good, but this looks so good.
That second one there is the heavy chain. It looks like a braid. You go in between each chain with another chain, and it looks like it's just braided. It's real simple. It's just
that one.
Fun to do.
And this is Lazy Daisies and Colonial Knots. This is
it was a whipped
chain. Yeah. And she tells you how to do this one. This one is a zigzag chain.
And I had trouble with that one.
And she said in the video that
it's not a great stitch. Yeah. It's not stable.
It's not stable, but so mine doesn't look that great.
Mine doesn't either.
And then that was what, 4?
Mm-hmm. I'm on this one now.
This was block 5. And this was fun. Oh, I loved this.
Yeah, that's fun. The spider web.
Woven spider web. Yeah. So all 3 of these are woven spider web. It just depends on the thread you use for what it looks like.
And the yellow one is silk.
Is silk ribbon.
3/8, about 3/8 of an inch wide.
And this one is a thicker thread than this one. So this one's, it's kind of puffy, where this one is flat.
Mm-hmm. It's just really fun.
So, and then this is page 6 or month 6. And I would have had this one done. I cannot figure out
the Palestrina.
It's called the Palestrina stitch.
I've got the left side done, but I haven't started on that side.
So, and I tried and tried and tried, and I ended up, because how it's stitched, I couldn't get it to unstitch. Oh. So I just cut it. So I'm gonna have to get some different thread and figure that out to do that one. She
provides all the thread, and there's a lot left over from each one unless something like that happens. So you can probably choose a different kind.
There was one, I think it was this one, that she provided 2 threads, because you were supposed to do the outside with one thread and the inside with a different, but it was both the same color. So I just used the same thread. So I still have one that's, or maybe it was this one.
You have an extra.
I have an extra thread that I can just.
Oh, my nose has itches.
Play with it. But anyway, so.
It's fun to do.
So so if you sign up this month, your first one would be April.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they're fun.
They're a lot of fun. And then my other embroidery that I've been working on is I'm making this quilt. It's by Crabapple Hill, and it's called Summer Kitchen.
It's a big one.
This is a long-term project because all of these squares are embroidered. This is embroidery, so it's one long piece of fabric.
And that next line.
And this one, and this is one long piece of fabric. So I have everything traced except for these 3 long ones. They're not traced yet. And the first one I did was this one. Do you want to hold that up?
Mom's cherry pie.
Sorry for the crinkling. And this is my first one. So remember, I was coloring, and I colored something with crayons, and then I colored something with colored pencils. If you want to know how to do that, go to Crabapple Hill on YouTube, and she has a great tutorial.
Right.
I get a lot of questions about that, and just go to her YouTube. But anyway, I decided not to color mine in.
You just used colored floss.
Because this one is colored in, and you still use the
same colored floss.
But I chose to make it more, I guess, authentic.
Or vintage.
Because back in the 50s, they didn't use crayons. And this is a very 50s vibe quilt.
It is. It's really
so
cute.
I'm using all the called for floss, which is Cosmo floss. I've never used Cosmo before. And it is a dream to stitch with.
Yeah, Cosmo is nice. Comes from Japan.
So that's my first block.
Very cute.
My second block, I'm getting ready to start, is the aprons.
Oh, those are cute.
And remember, this rose stitch from here, right here,
Mm-hmm.
the pink one. I'm going to use it.
Oh, good idea for the cherries.
No, these are
Oh,
little
those are not
flowers.
cherries. Those are flowers.
They're
Oh, okay.
flowers.
Yeah, it'll work great for that.
And I might use it. I'm going to use it for sure on those, and then I might use maybe the other one.
The bigger, flatter one.
For these, just to give them some different textures.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Okay, this is the only cherry one.
Yeah.
Or actually, I'm pointing the wrong way. This.
Yep. So, but the one thing is because you use colored pencils on these.
Mm-hmm.
So see how it has X's on this one, and it has stripes and hashtags. I don't know if you can see them.
These are the X's on here.
Yeah. And then it has like a plaid or stripes, and then this one has like hashtags on it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all with colored pencils.
Mm-hmm. Are you gonna stitch it, or are you just
So
gonna
that's
leave
what
it off?
I don't know. So that's what I'm trying to decide if I want to, when I stitch them, should I stitch little X's all over it and just use like one strand of thread?
Yeah, I would. I think it'd be cute.
But this would be a lot.
That is a lot. Those are big hashtags,
And
and that
same-
would be a lot.
So I don't know. But
You'll have to look.
here's my fabrics.
The tracings.
The tracing. Let's see.
They're in brown, so it's kind of hard to see them.
Yeah.
That's why you want to use brown, because you can't see it.
Yeah, so when you stitch over it, it's less likely to show through.
And while we're on embroidery and tracing, we do have a couple of these friction pens, and here is a brown one that Nancy gave me that she ordered from Fat Quarter Shop. And they're by Pilot pens, and she got a brown one, and then I got 2 black ones and gave her a black one. It's the exact same thing. They do have an eraser on the end. You can erase them with the eraser, or an iron will erase them. So some people say if they get cold, though, it might come back.
Yeah, that's what.
That's what I've heard. If
Sorry, let me put this up and then
it's kind of crinkly.
I won't make so much noise.
But this one has a cap, and it's the brown one, and they're by Pilot. And then this is just one of these clicky
Yeah,
pens.
as a quilter, so quilters use these a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they come back, but it has to be cold, but then
Yeah.
you just iron. So
And when you stitch over them, you want to hide the line anyway. So unless you make a mistake with your pen, they're hidden, even
Yeah.
if it does come back.
right.
But I have never had that problem. I've never gotten them cold either.
The only thing is when you want to iron your SF 101 on the back first
Yeah.
before you trace, because if you don't,
You'll erase your
you'll erase your
tracing.
tracing. And I would say that, not from experience, but if you trace with one of these and then you leave it in a hot car, I
Mhm.
would think that it would go away.
Yeah, if it's too hot, it will go away. So
that's,
you
know,
just
if you
have to watch that.
if you take it as, car stitching, which embroidery is really easy to do as car
Right.
stitching. If
You
you
gotta watch it.
left it in a hot car, your
It might
embroidery might
go away.
disappear. I don't know from experience, but that would be my guess.
Do you have a quilt whip?
I do. I do.
I don't have any quilt whips.
Okay, so I was stitching. I showed you the Pinker and Pumpkin quilting embroidery that I did. And if you want to find these embroidery, go back, I think, on her blog to March of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll find some of them, and it will link to all the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I got all my stitching done, and I was trying to figure out how I wanted to make it into a quilt. And Riley Blake has a free, it's called the Riley Blake Block Challenge, I think.
Mm-hmm. Every week, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's a weekly challenge. And
Mhm.
I'm not doing the challenge, but I'm on their Facebook group, and they
Mhm.
had this pattern. So these are free patterns, but I'm not going to show you like cutting instructions or anything. But it had
A churn
see.
dash.
this churn dash on it. And so I thought, I wonder how big this is inside of here. And so I decided to pull up the pattern, and it was 6.5 inches. So I measured my pieces, and my pieces would fit perfectly inside this little turn dash. So that's what I've done.
They're so cute.
So I have all my turn dashes done.
And now these you did with colored pencil.
These I colored with colored pencil.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this was one of my experiments to see if I like the crayons better, or if I like the colored pencils better, or not anything. So these are and I used 3 different colors of fabric for my turn dashes, and then I used this background for all of them. And they turned out so cute.
They are adorable.
It's going to be a very cute spring, summer.
So you have red, aqua, and yellow.
Red, aqua, and yellow.
For the frames, the turn dash.
And it's going to be about 30 by 40 inches. Well, a little bit bigger because I'll put borders on. So about
so cute.
35 by 45 inches. So just a cute little wall quilt.
And those are Lori Holt fabrics?
No.
What are
None of these are Lori Holt.
None of these are.
They're 2 fabric designers.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not sure which ones. I just pulled them from my stash.
Oh, that one's darling. I love the bees. And the tomatoes. Cute.
And that one.
Little bird.
So I'm going to use this fabric for the sashing and the borders in between.
The blocks.
It's got the exact red.
Mm-hmm.
Yellow,
Red, aqua, and yellow.
And then this will be my backing fabric.
Oh, that'll be so pretty.
So
that's going to be adorable.
Yeah. So hopefully, maybe
Here's your pattern.
next time I will have it done. We'll see, because I'm going to have babies in between all that time.
Yes.
And I do have one quilt that I want done by the end of the month before I get babies. So.
Ooh, you better get on that one next, huh?
All right, the next one. Bring this over here. The next one I'm doing.
Quilt.
So back a couple of years ago, I think, Fat Quarter Shop did a block of the month for this quilt. It's called Coriander Christmas. It's
Cute
from this
quilt.
book. This book is still available.
A very
Coriander
Christmas.
And I got the book, and I regretted not doing the block of the month, because this quilt is amazing.
It is very cute.
It is not a beginner-friendly quilt.
Not my speed.
No, some of those pieces are, some of those blocks
There's a lot to them.
So
There's a lot to these.
So what I decided is I'm doing it this year as a block of the month, doing my own block of the month. So the fabric I chose is called Christmas Morning by Layla Boutique.
Mm-hmm. So cute.
And this was my January block. And then this is my February block.
That one I just love. I love stars and points and triangles.
This one was no joke.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of
pieces and pieces and pieces.
So I love this quilt.
That is really going to be beautiful.
So, and I'm not sure. Let's see.
There's 12 blocks, so you've got 10 more to do.
Yep. So I haven't done March yet. I think March is that one.
Ooh, that'll be pretty. Looks like birds.
So this is going to be a gorgeous quilt.
It is.
This fabric line, it came out in May of 2021, and when I saw it, I just fell in love with it. It's absolute, probably one of my favorite Christmas fabric lines that has come out. And they're coming out with a new one called Christmas Eve in May. So I can't.
And it matches, doesn't it?
And it matches.
That's what's amazing.
So my next one is this one, and it's called So Scrappy Spools by Lori Holt. And I am also doing this kind of as sort of as a block of the month, but Fat Quarter Shop is doing it as a block of the month. I didn't know they were until I had already started.
Oh, yeah, you had. You started before they did.
Anyway, But I think once I get the quilt I'm working on done, I may just go ahead and finish this one because I'm trying to use up all my Lori Holt scraps from previous quilts I've made. Because if you order a kit from Fat Quarter Shop and they cut your kit, you have so much
left over. They're really
so
generous.
I thought, oh, this will use up all those scraps because this drawer right here is clear full. Like I can't get any more in there. So I thought, oh, this will use up a ton of scraps.
They're small
They're
pieces.
small, teeny small pieces.
So she'll have to do like 5 of those.
So I want to get this one done.
You can make me one. That would use up more.
Right? I could just let you take them
and make it myself.
So what I want to start, she has a new quilt coming out. It'll be a free sew along, and it's an applique quilt in August. And it's hometown something.
With a lot of houses.
It has a whole bunch of houses. And I want to do that with their sew along.
Ah.
So, but I can't start another Lori Holt quilt until I have this drawer emptied.
Oh.
So I'm in a hurry and get this spool one done. And then I have another quilt that I think is going to go through a lot of the scraps.
Oh, that's good.
So these are my February blocks.
They're so cute.
There's 4 of this one. And so all the background, the white, the low volume, is scraps from other quilts. So all my, these are all different. Like within the quilt, they're the same. I mean, within the block, like right here.
But not in the quilt, they're different.
But in each spool, they're different.
Yeah.
So there's 4 of these. And also, I'm picking the lighter of her browns, not the darker. So I am going to have to pull some of the browns from my stash. And then here's a darker one, but there's her browns are 2 different tones, I guess, and this is the same tone, only lighter and darker. So there's those 4, and then there was 4 of these.
Those are a little 9-patch. How many blocks altogether are there?
I don't know.
There's 4 of each design, and
you have to do 4 of each one, except for one, and you only do 3 of that one, which is kind of weird. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
9 times 7 is 63.
63. So anyway,
wow.
That's my quilting.
All right.
My quilting and my embroidery.
Yep. Okay. I think we're to the giveaways.
Yes.
And
so we had giveaways from last time because we reached 5,000 subscribers.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for subscribing and watching. So we have 10 things to give away.
Right. So if you win, send us an email with your address. We're not going to comment on your comment.
Nope.
Send an email with your address, and we will get these in the mail to you.
Yep.
So number 1 was Janice Davis.
Yay, Janice.
So Janice, if you could contact us. Our email is in the description box below. So is our Instagram handles. So if it's easier on Instagram,
that's fine.
But tell us what you won and your address.
Yes, and we will send them right out.
Number 2 was for this Mill Hill kit. Barbara Collins Miller.
Congratulations, Barbara. Here you have number 3. I think it's the Winds.
Number 3 is this book that a subscriber sent to us, and we both had it.
The winner is Jeannie York. Jeannie York. Congratulations, Jeannie.
Okay.
Number 4 is a Heartstring Samplery Yield Noel, and the winner is Lori Eden. E-D-E-N. Lori Eden. Congratulations, Lori. Then number 5 is the Scarlet House Bringing Home the Tree, and the winner is Cindy Gunning. Cindy Gunning. Congratulations. And number 6 is called Furry Friends by Country Cottage Needleworks. I get them mixed up even when I can look at it. And that is Jill. I got to read it. Romaine. Sorry. Jill Romaine. Congratulations, Jill. You have number 7.
Number 7 is the Autumn Harvest Sampler, and the winner is Shelley Reveal.
Mm-hmm. Number 8 is Winter Quail by Janine McGowan from the Blue Flower. And the winner is Sean Wenrich. Sean Wenrich. Congratulations, Sean. Number 9 is Calamity Jane's Pattern Company, and these are dish towels with the patterns. There's a sewing one and a sunflower one.
And it's applique.
Applique, yes. And the winner is Mary Jo Fear, F-E-H-R. Mary Jo Fear.
And
Congratulations.
number 10 is this pattern to make this little pillow.
Wool applique.
And Susan Allen.
Sue Allen.
Oh, Sue Allen. Sorry.
Congratulations. So everybody get a hold of us, and we'll get those mailed out to you.
And if you haven't contacted us by our next video, which would probably be close
It'll
to
be in a month.
We will go ahead and do new, because
we'll
it gives you a
redraw.
month
You
to
have a
watch our
month.
video and get a hold of us. So our next
Video.
if you have not claimed your prize, we will do a redraw.
Okay, someone earlier, and I'm sorry, I don't know who, asked if we could compare R&R Patriots Brew with R&R Winters Brew, and this is 36 count linen. And I was going through my linen, and I actually found a scrap of each. So Winters Brew is just a little lighter than Patriots Brew if you put the two together. I also found some Brenda's Brew by R&R, and it's a little darker than Patriots Brew. So if you were looking for one of them and didn't have it, you could substitute one of the other two because they are so close in color. I don't think it would make that much difference. This one is the darkest one, and that's Brenda's Brew. But these two, Patriots and Winter, are very close.
Yeah, each one of these are about one shade.
Yeah, they're just about one shade apart. So I hope that answers that question. I couldn't find them when the question was asked, but I was looking for something else, and there they were. I found them. So that is that. Do you have anything else?
Oh, I think that's it.
I do too. So we'll be back. Yeah, keep your fingers crossed that the sound is good.
Yes.
And we'll be back in a month.
And this last time was not because we couldn't get our sound right. We were on a new device, and we thought the mic
was hooked up,
and it wasn't.
And the sound would go normal, and then it would drop way off to where you could hardly hear us. Then it would go normal, and then it'd drop way off.
And we don't know why, but we recorded twice. We recorded once with the mic, once without. And it did the same thing. And it did the same thing. So we know it was the device, not us, not because we didn't. Anyway. So hopefully this is good, and we'll check it before we send it out into the universe. Yes. So I think we're done for today. Yes. Everybody happy stitching. And we'll see you in about a month. Yep. I think. All right. So bye. Bye-bye.